So I said like, God, I'm gonna say like 20 episodes ago that roguelikes like Dead Cells start to get a little stale for me, unless things are like specifically done to make them like fresh and interesting and stuff like that. These people keep updating the game. I don't get no rest. I'm like, okay, maybe I should find a stopping point at some point. Maybe I should sit down and be like, okay, this is enough. You know, I've played this game enough. And then they update it again, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll just do like a couple episodes of the new thing. Then they come up with another update, and here we are. I mean, I guess they kind of had the benefit of wow, they really did change the level design here. They really did have the benefit of having like kind of a press demo to get me interested. And then they go 1.0, so they had a bunch of stuff, you know, kind of pre-built to catch my interest. So they had, like, a lot of stuff. And then the first update comes out and adds, like, a lot of cool, fun things. And then I don't know what's in this update. I know there's a new level, I know there's some new enemies, I know they changed the level design, and stuff like that. Let's see. But yeah, so I know there's a new level that can be reached somehow, somewhere. In this run, potentially. The patch is called Hello Darkness, My Old Friend. So, oh, they changed the vine to look a lot more like in tune with the environment. I like that. So I'll have to take a look. But yeah, hopefully they'll have changed some things, but not too much. I'm a little bit worried that I haven't seen a single stat point yet. It'd be bad if they nerfed it even further. But you never know. Okay. So, extra damage when your health's at maximum. Cover the ground with oil and light it up. Enemies burn when they die. Alright. A fire torrent 2 is, like, super tempting. Like, super tempting. What's the shield? I think it's just the basic assault, sturdy shield. Yeah, it's generic as hell. Technically, there's the assault shield too, but I don't like it. I'm just trying to decide, do I want fire torrent? Let's go with fire torrent. I like the rapier, but it's just not as cool. Not as cool as fire torrent. Probably faster. Oh wait, maybe I should have actually checked out the firebrands. You know, let's go firebrands. I know the firebrands are I guess undeniably worse. I just like the firebrands better because they're funky. They're fun to use. I like the burning effect and so on and so forth. Yeah, still haven't run into a single stat point here, which is doing me a concern. Okay, there's one. I was worried. I'm always worried. Okay, so let's just pour it into health. Generally, we get everything else. I mean, we're immediately getting strength. And we're getting Knife Storm. Okay, enemy dies while bleeding. Nearby enemies will bleed too. Okay. Always reasonable. And we'll just let the fire handle everything. I love the fire effects in this game. I want more games like this to really embrace status effects. I feel like status effects are a really fun way to keep things interesting. And okay, so we get the torch, not the firebrands. Okay, so we got the Promenade of the Condemned, ossuary. Let's go for the Promenade of the Condemned. I'm just going to assume that this might be how we access the new level. Either that or it's actually further on. I don't know. Okay. So we haven't maxed out the firebrands. Let's keep working on that. That seems like the best possible use of my time because the firebrands are fun. I want to see more of them. I don't know. We'll think on that. We'll think on some more things too. Okay. So that's where you get the Assassin's Dagger, but we've already done that. Unless there's something new up here. Nope. Nothing new in that section. I'm just gonna keep looking. There's gotta be something somewhere. I was kinda hoping I could ledge grab or whatever. Oh well. Let's see. Yeah, I don't come down here very often. I don't like the Promenade of the Condemned, but they specifically mentioned that they had changed the design of it. So... Huh. I should probably run for a bit. Got too many guys here just chucking torches at me. Should probably turn up the music or something. I think it got quieter, but it could just be me. But yeah, we got 3 secrets on one wall. I don't think that's ever happened before. Of course, trying to get to it is a little bit harder, but that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna turn the volume up. Okay, let's see what we got down here. I hope they never make it so that any of the levels that you can reach in this game are timed. Honestly, I don't actually really like the time section of this game at all. I find it's kind of the least interesting part of it. I'd rather have like a specific challenge, I guess. Like I always go back to Hollow Knight, but I really like how Hollow Knight's like the hardest section in Hollow Knight was the White Palace, and that was never timed. It was just so unbelievably difficult, and I really enjoyed it. And I'd like to see them do more with that sort of thing. Okay, let's go with the Blood Sword. I like the Firebrands, but they're not doing enough for me yet. Let's see. Thinking about playing some Armello. We should probably play Armello again. We just haven't had the time to do so. I think only Keith Bird and myself have it, and it's I'm not going to say a little weird playing Armello without like a 4th person. I guess I could get a copy for Shell. But our Armello group kind of fell apart. And I mean, I guess I could always just play it solo. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It just never quite had the same flair. Flavor? I don't know. Either. Oh shoot, there's a guy here. I wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, going Bloodsword was the better idea. Did it get unnerfed? Because I know originally they were like, we're gonna change these things. Oh, there's an elite zombie down there. Eh. Elite zombie schmombi. I mean, honestly, the bleed's probably gonna take him out the rest of the way. Okay. Sure. What do we want? Knife Storm. 8 seconds, 9 seconds. I don't know. I don't know which one we want more. Well, this is fine. Let's go back. Let's see. Yeah, Armello is super fun. I really enjoyed that game. That was really 2014. Damn. That was actually a while ago. Was it 2014 or was it 2000? No, it was 2015. Now that I'm thinking about it, my brain is kind of all confuddled when it comes to like time. You know, I'm moving on to year 4 of YouTube. As crazy as that sounds to me, it probably doesn't mean much to you guys, but like, the only other times that I've like had in my life that I can like really ascribe like specific periods of time to was school, and school is super easy to determine. You know, you had very set people you were working with and stuff like that. Whereas YouTube is kind of this like infinite experience, and it makes it a little bit hard to keep track of. It's so cyclical, and there's so many things happening that like all sense of time is just kind of lost as you keep doing it, which sounds like weirdly grim, but I don't know, it's cool. Okay, I just wanted to see what I was missing out on down there. It looks like it's just kind of small stuff. Now, what's with the elevator down there? I'll have to check that out. Because I think the level design got changed pretty substantially here. But I don't entirely know why. I don't know. I guess just on the time thing. I don't know how many of you guys are specifically, like, grown adults versus, like, kind of younger. But for me specifically, I'm not used to adulting yet, you know. This year was kind of the first year that I actually got to be an adult, effectively. Prior to this, I've generally been living at home or living at college, and, like, you know, there were definitely like adult-ish things that I had to do, bills, taxes, you name it. But now that I'm like really off on my own and like paying bills and stuff like that, it's just like, oh, this is weird. And I don't actually mind it. Being an adult is expensive, honestly. That's the main thing. You don't quite realize. You're like, oh, you'll have a job and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but you also have to spend so much money just keeping things going. It's weird. So how far does this game go now? I don't know if they've added any new bosses, but they added something new. That's why I'm here to find out. Okay, so we've got the prison depths. So chances are, wherever that dark route is going to be elsewhere. Okay, well, we've got whatever this area is down here and to the right. I thought this was just gonna bring us somewhere useless, but no, it actually just brings us right here. I'm interested. I hope we do find something more interesting than what I've got, though. I've definitely got kind of uninteresting equipment so far. That'll kill him, right? I miss the old Death Orb. Old Death Orb was amazing. I mean, this one ain't bad. Okay, here's some equipment. So we get the whip. Oh! Volmont's whip. That's funny. Lifesteal. Flashbang. Oil grenade. Do Twin Daggers 3. Sure. I'll try the Twin Daggers 3. I don't have any fire equipment. I'd like to go with the oil grenade. We just need something burning. Well, we've got my firebrands. Okay, so let's grab the oil grenade instead of the death orb. Because the death orb might not be working that great. Okay, let's head over. Let's see if I can get the, let's see if I can get the firebrands again. Instead of the sturdy shield, we'll go with that. Okay, is the Hello Darkness patch automatic? No, you have to opt into the beta if you want to get onto this patch. Alright, so it looks like we've just got prison depths, everything. No toxic sewer entrance, interestingly enough. Well, you know what? I was gonna go to the ramparts anyway. There's new stuff there. Did Death Orb get balanced? Yeah, it got balanced in the last patch. It's still good, but not nearly as it's not nearly as good as it used to be, which sucks. Okay. Let's see. So what do we? Yeah, more firebrand. Even if I can't have a high rank one, this will be fine. Okay. Oh, middle of the map. I missed some. Yeah, that was the timed door. I generally go pretty slowly, so I almost never get the timed doors. Unless there's like a specific reason why I should go to any of those. You can access the new area from the ossuary. Damn it. Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind for the next run. I don't know if I'm doing one run or two tonight. I guess I could always get back to this after bird time. I wouldn't mind playing some more Dead Cells later on. Sad news is, looks like they have not fixed the oil grenade yet. I'm surprised. I wonder if nobody's called them on that. Because, yeah, the oil grenade is supposed to do a fair bit more. the oil grenade's supposed to do a fair bit more than it does. Okay. Damage on a burning target. Well, let's grab the melee damage. We're gonna need that. At least I can get small amounts of HP back here. And the daggers are good. Okay, let's see. Nope, this is not it. This place is a bit dense. But yeah, I know there's a blueprint that you can get specifically on the ramparts that I haven't gotten yet. Gotten to. And I'd like to get that if all possible. Okay, nope. There you go. Now, is it 1% of your max health with every strike, or is it 1% of the damage that you do? I don't remember. But yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of the oil grenade. I was really excited because I really want the oil grenade to not suck anymore. But it needs some work. Yeah, 5 minutes. Looks like it's just money, but it goes a little bit further. But yeah, am I gonna replace the oil grenade? Yeah, I got to. Unfortunately, there's a bug that fixes the damage to 6, no matter what. And it's unfortunate because it makes it into kind of a kind of a useless weapon. Skill? Okay, so what do we got down here? Oh, it's okay. Now we got the balance sword, which works well enough. You know, I'd actually be okay with the oil grenade doing less damage if it had some kind of fun utility along the way. Like if you could cause enemies to like slip and slide and stuff like that. That would be amazing. Let's see, how much does this game cost? 15, I think? It's like 15 or 20. I don't think it's on much of a sale because it just came out and is fairly popular, but I find the prices honestly fairly reasonable for the amount of content that that they put out. I really like this balance blade, actually. This thing kind of kicks ass. But then again, I've always been pretty happy about it. There is there's a new type of kick. Either that or they changed the kick animation, so the kick now has like kind of some cool sweeping strikes. Ow. That I want to try out. Twin Daggers 3. Well, let's try the Twin Daggers 3 over the, wow, nothing but strength ups. I don't know, maybe the Twin Daggers 3 are worth it over the balance blade. They're a bit slower, but we got a crit. Let's see, what game am I talking about? This game? Probably? I've only talked about this game in Armello so far, I think. It's easy to forget, though. This game has quite a lot of stimulus, so it's easy to just, messes with my head. And that's good. Oil grenade isn't bugged. Its damage depends on the damage per second from the fire. But it always does 6 damage per second from the fire. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's fairly reliable about always doing that damage value for some mysterious reason. What's up with that? Okay, I gotta check out that, like, weird little room on the side. Or not? Okay. Let's see. That little room there, it feels sketchy to me. I don't see anything in it, though. Yeah, nothing but strength ups. It is definitely Swolebot night, which is good because we got the double daggers. Double daggers almost always is worth running. I haven't run it in a long time, but it's a damn good piece of equipment. How many of these cultist dudes are there? Too many, apparently. Okay, I don't see anything. There was a little bit left here. Yeah? Yeah. We did kind of like just fly past everything. Hey, kebab. Oh, do I care? Let's try it. I'm not terribly damaged. Why is it up there? I have no idea. Okay, what's my left trigger grenade? That's the Ivy grenade. It's a little bit harder to get, but still. Wouldn't the Assassin's Dagger or whatever be better? Yes and no. The Assassin's Dagger is damn good. So the problem with the Assassin's Dagger, specifically is it... I don't remember if it stuns. Sometimes it's hard to get behind things. Like, for example, the tentacles cannot be gotten behind particularly easily. Oh, they're coming from elsewhere. Okay. I'm just gonna switch to this. It's faster. I've never attempted this on a purely melee run. Usually I do it with hefty skills and nothing more. Okay, thank you, Biter, for finishing them off the rest of the way. Ow, balls. That's rough. Okay. How long will Dead Cells be in early access? Years. They're developing it surprisingly fast. I was expecting them to kind of pull a Cavern Kings or whatever. Or even worse, a Catacomb Kids. Where it puts out like a couple of patches and then just goes dead silent while they work on stuff. But so far as I can tell, they've actually... they've put out new patches every, like, what, 2-3 weeks? Give or something like that. And generally they add quite a lot of goodies as part of the process. Which feels really good to me. Okay, so supposedly there's something over on the right side. So you need to use the phaser skill if you want to use the Assassin's Dagger. Now, I find rolling works well enough with the Assassin's Dagger. Main reason why I don't necessarily say the Assassin's Dagger is better is bosses like the Watcher specifically cannot be crit with the Assassin's Dagger because it doesn't have a backside. It also does not have a... I don't know if it has a stun, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Whereas the Twin Daggers very definitively have, like, a fairly nasty stun if you hit them, like, in the back and stuff like that. Trying to think of what else. There are, like, a couple of reasons why the Twin Daggers are viable. Generally, I go with the Assassin's Dagger anyway. But, I think... oh, yeah, the base damage on the Twin Daggers is a fair bit higher to compensate for the fact that they can't just crit for days. They just crit for most of forever. Damage taken reduced. Sure. Ow. That's not the button I pressed, but okay. So I thought I did. Backer has a backside. Oh, the Watcher has a backside. It's just pointed away from the viewer. Har har. Okay, so we get Torch, Fire Torrent. Enemies burn when they die. What? Throws a grenade. Toxic. Toxic. Let's get this. Yeah, let's get Phaser over the Ivy Grenade. I like Ivy Grenade, but it's not really conducive to what I'm doing here. And let's keep pumping health. Okay. Yeah, it seems reasonable. I just like Phaser. It's one of the only moves that actually, like, really works with melee in this game. Most other skills are very much like, most other skills are very much, like, keyed in for, you know, skill-based playthroughs. I guess the stunning grenades kind of work with it, because the stun, the freeze effects work really well with, like, a melee build over a skill build. But at the same time, Phaser's the only one that, like, really specifically is, like, meant for use with melee. And actually, I don't think it scales apart from cooldown. I wish, to some degree, skill and power were not actually... Considering you get skill and power constantly, I'd either almost wish they were the same stat, or I don't know how I'd want it to work. Just trying to figure out how to harm these guys without harm these guys without putting myself into like that bad of a position. I guess just fart clouding them kind of works. This is kind of lazy fighting on the bird side of things. Especially the music. Come on, I just want to go to the left. There we go. Perfect. Confused. Life is weird. Now, we do have a big old tower on the right side that I should probably check out. Maybe I can get over there. Maybe not. There we go. Almost kind of wish stunning or freezing those birds would send them crashing to the ground. Oh, dude, that would be awesome. Actually, I'd really like that. Okay, so I've been told repeatedly that there's a blueprint over here somewhere. Anybody know? Because I've been looking for it for a decently long while. And for the life of me, I've not found it. Because they're like, go all the way to the right. Well, it's probably not down there. Which blueprint? I have no idea. That's the thing. People have just told me. Ossuary enemies are even tougher since the last patch. Oof. Alright. Oh, that's fine. Guess I'll just fling myself into this void, too. Nothing there. Yeah, I don't see it. Here, I'm gonna look it up. Let's see if there's a guide or something at this point. All blueprint drops. Oh, wow, they've already got it. Okay. Okay, lightning bolt, inquisitors. So we already got that one, and spiteful sword. Oh. So there's not actually. There's no actual blueprint that's specifically found here. I'm looking at it now. It's just 3 items that can drop from these locations. Okay, so I guess I've been misled. I should probably sit down at some point. But, yeah, there's nothing here. Alright, down to the Black Bridge. Well, I guess that's it for the ramparts until we grow bored of it. Oh well. I guess this gets to be a regular run because we can't get back to the darkness zone anyway because we got to go to the ossuary. Well, at least we get to pump out an area. Some more skills. Okay, what else did I want to put points into? And there's the war spear. There's the impaler. Maybe we should actually work on the spiked boots because maybe they're the new things that I want to look for. Oh, sorry, next. Yeah, maybe? I mean, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to loop through the whole game first, because I'm not gonna just squander a run because I want to go to the new zone. I'll just go looking for it properly. Oh yeah, that does a ton of damage. Boop. Right. That's one thing that always kind of gets my goat about the, phaser. Is I really wish the, I really wish the effects from phaser, would actually trigger on the location you warp into, as opposed to the location you leave. Oh, that's okay. Oh, you can interrupt the damage field. Ah. I'll just leave him in the Freezy poison burning zone. That's a lot of things that I can just drop him in. Is there an achievement for fighting this guy with and not taking damage? I've probably gotten it already. But yeah, unfortunately the ossuary is the second level in the game. I really wish they'd actually expand the end game more than the earlier levels, to be totally honest. I like the earlier levels, but they're not as interesting. Okay, so yeah, that's the time door sealed 13 minutes ago. Wow, you gotta beat it in 10. Gotta beat it in 10 minutes. That's rough. See, what's the next zone called? Do you mean the fog fjord or do you mean the darkness? Because I don't know how to get to the darkness. Well, I don't know if it's even called the darkness yet. Okay, so we get a hook. Hook is tempting. I don't know which I like. Let's see, is the Watcher at the end? Yep. The Watcher is still currently, I think, the only boss at the end. The other thing I'd actually really like them to do is actually, I'd actually like for them to sit down and add a couple new bosses. Whoops. Like, the levels are cool, and I'm glad they're adding more of them, but, I hope they have a patch where they're just like, here's 2 new bosses for 2nd and 3rd levels, because, oh boy. You get kind of used to fighting them. So you can't stun that guy. Good to know. Wow, that slow is ridiculous. I love it. Let's see, is Wander really good or is this game easy? I am rather good at this game. I wouldn't say that I'm, like, top tier or anything like that. I don't even know how that would, like, factor in. But after about 50 episodes of this, I've gotten very used to it. If the Blood Sword did extra damage to a bleeding target, I'd give it a go, just to see if it's, like, just to see if it's viable. Okay, there we go. Yeah, 4 to 5 more bosses before I'd recommend buying. Yeah, probably. I mean, ultimately, it's still like a very good early access roguelike. They're supporting this way more aggressively than I expected, which is super good. Because so many early access roguelikes just go the way of, well, early access hell forever. And so, like, originally my favorite early access roguelike, I guess, honestly, Tower of Guns, but following that was Vagante. I absolutely loved Vagante. But the thing about Vagante that I never could get into is there was no, there was, like, a skill cap, for sure. And, like, if you were good at Vagante, you could generally kind of cheese your way through. This game has, like, a legitimate skill cap, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, I'm cheesing in a lot of cases, but, like, I could conceivably do a no-skill run of Dead Cells. I could also do a no-weapon run of Dead Cells, and for the most part, both would be, fairly reasonable, I guess. Covers the victim in flammable oil. Tempting, but not that useful. Poison enemies that hurt you, reduce damage from projectiles. We want that. I'm tempted. Let's pick up the infantry bow. I like the balanced blade, but I got some ideas. And where's this go? This is nowhere. How about Darkest Dungeon? That's early access done right. But it's not a roguelike. That's the thing. Darkest Dungeon had a very specific design and went for it. Roguelikes are different beasts entirely. And so, like, yeah, absolutely, Darkest Dungeon is an amazing example of early access done right. But it's not a roguelike. That's the problem. There's not a whole lot of early access roguelikes that actually don't suck. You know, I bring up Vagante. Say what you want about Vagante. you know, being hard or whatever, but they're still developing it. They're still working on it, which is like a huge plus. Whereas I mentioned Cavern Kings earlier and Catacomb Kids and whatnot, those games will be in development for years and desperately need some patches far sooner than that. I mean, I think Cavern Kings is just dead-zo. Either that or they're going with the Cube World. The Cube World thing, and they're just going to work on it silently and only release patches when it's done. Which, you know, I'd be okay with. It's just the matter of, like, there aren't a whole lot of... Ow. Okay, we should probably heal. There aren't a whole lot of early access roguelikes that go start to finish without major problems or just stopping. Which is rough. Let's see, will I go back to Vagante when it's finished? Yeah, probably. The problem with Vagante is, so I was mentioning about this game specifically having a very high skill cap. Vagante doesn't. There are a lot of bosses that would just outright kill you. And... Ow. This bow build is a bit on the rough side. I'm kind of committed to it because it's fun. I want to use the infantry bow, and this might be a situation where I actually could. Cube World, is that still updating or has it died? Depends on your perspective. Cube World has technically been in development for years, and will probably stay in development for years. When's the next patch? Also years. I think, like, at some point, it's probably going to get updated. And that's going to be wacky. But until then, Cube World will never be updated. I don't know, I guess I believe the developer, I believe the developer will actually, you know, capitulate and, you know, release his game. Because he does keep putting out, like, teases of like, hey, I'm still working on this. And then everybody's like, patch when? And then no patch. And it's just like, what? But, I mean, he is actually, like, developing it. I just think he just decided, screw it, I'm not putting this up on the internet. Yep. Which I can almost respect, except for the fact that he should never have sold it in the first place. Okay, let's wait until these guys get synced up or anything like that. I'm just glad that, Wooly... I'm just glad that Wooly made it so you couldn't, buy Cube World anymore. I mean, that probably annoys some people, but at the same time it feels like kind of the proper reaction. It's like, you know, nobody's going to be satisfied with this right now, so I'm just going to take it off the market. I'm like, yep, that's fine. You do that. I don't know if I've been into any of these. That's okay. Honestly, my favorite thing about Cube World is the subreddit for it. Can somebody go check the Cube World subreddit and tell me what the stickied post is? Because I think there's one stickied post and it's amazing. I think I might actually go back to the daggers. Honestly, we need a strength up or two, though. Did they actually make the enemies tougher? I feel like they might have more HP. The other problem with Cube World is ultimately the developers, well, their competitors effectively saw Cube World and like how successful Cube World was, and that, you know, nobody was actually making Cube World. Ow, what? Okay, but you know, their competitors saw it and it's like, oh, wait a second. We can make everything... Ow. We can make everything that is Cube World. Okay. We might be in trouble. And we're dead. Damn it. Alright, whatever. I should not take on elite versions of those, especially when I have kind of a slow system. But, you know, Trove, Creativerse, Portal Knights, they're all cube worldy, but they're actually good. Oh, the post about not being able to buy it. Okay, that's interesting. Cause yeah, the post for ages was just no. All it said was just no, and it was beautiful. I really liked the Cube World subreddit. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, if you want Cube World, go play Portal Knights. I think it's about the same thing, and it's just about as good. I think there was like also Sky Saga that looked kind of good. I don't know if it's like out on Steam or anything. Whatever.